This panel for the next half an hour is called A Journey Towards New Frontiers, and it discusses the international expansion of La Liga and looks at how clubs and the league can collaborate to achieve maximum brand impact. You're stuck with me moderating this one, but we've got two experts, one from La Liga and the other from Valencia. Delighted to welcome Ivan Codina, the Managing Director SEA of Japan, South Korea and Australia for La Liga, and Fabio Fusco, International Business Development Manager for Valencia. Gentlemen, it's great to have your company. And Ivan, if I can start for you, just give me a broad overview of La Liga's strategy regarding internationalization.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ben, for the introduction. For anything, everybody needs to understand that La Liga, we have been working on the international expansion for the last 5 years. So it's been a long journey already. Even if it's only 5 years, it feels like it's been forever. We need to understand that La Liga 5 years back was realized that it was a mature market for us, that we needed to go overseas to grow our brand. Back then, 85% of the revenues for all the clubs were coming from the national market and only 15 from overseas. And this is taking into account both Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. So whereas in the APL, for example, it was the other way around. So we had to do something. So we started with our structuring the new network that we built overseas with the international offices. We have 9 as of today, and very important for everybody to know is the La Liga Global Network project. We focus on bringing, or our main objective is to bring La Liga closer to the fans, to the stakeholders. We have a global audience, and it's very important for us to reach not just our very important fans in Spain, but also all the fan base worldwide. So for that, we develop a local approach, and that was based on 4 different pillars. Digital, of course, very important nowadays at the institutional level. Just it was very important for us to not be seen as a league that tried to conquer the world, but actually to a league that goes into the market to try to help develop the industry. And also fan engagement. We've been able to work in building communities in each of the markets. And last but not the least, also commercial. I mean, we were in a complete disadvantage. We didn't have much, presence on the commercial front outside of Spain, and it's very important for us in order to get also not just for the cash element, but also for activation of the assets of La Liga in order to generate awareness of our brand. All this, of course, no secret for anyone, impacts on the business, that we are into, the TV rights. So pretty much, on a nutshell, and then we can develop a little bit more along the session, but that's a little bit what we've been busy the last 5 years.
Ivan, thank you for those opening remarks. Fabio, if I can bring you in a similar question. When people think about La Liga expanding internationally, they will naturally assume that will focus around leveraging the popularity of Barcelona and Real Madrid, and then even the other bigger sides like Valencia, Sevilla, and others would perhaps be secondary to that. So how do you ensure that La Liga's internationalization benefits Valencia as opposed to those other clubs like Barca and Real Madrid that I mentioned?
Yeah, so hi everyone. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to talk with you today. It's a great pleasure for me personally and for the club. So, we are in a process where we want to be perceived as really a global club, a challenger of the clubs that you mentioned that obviously have such different incomes compared to us. But our strategy really aims to grow our global fan base internationally. So just to give you a bit of context, we are obviously such an historical club. We have 15 Spanish titles, 6 European ones. We are ambassadors of a city like Valencia. But, most importantly, we want to share our values around the world and obviously increase, our passion and our brand identity on the markets that obviously are interested in La Liga and as a consequence on us. So for us, La Liga audience is key to our success internationally, and obviously we wanna do what's in our power to increase the popularity of La Liga, and obviously of our values. So we don't want only to reach new audiences, but actually want them to engage with us, and we believe that the job that is doing La Liga is actually really important for a club like Valencia.
So Ivan, let's talk territories specifically. In an ideal world, you'd like to go everywhere, but presumably there will be a strategy and particular targets. Where is the current priority for La Liga's internationalisation? Is it the likes of Asia, where the Premier League have got a lot of joy? Is it new and emerging territories like the Middle East and North Africa? Is it North and South America, where La Liga are trying to stage a competitive game and currently in court over there, trying to get the ability to have that fixture moved from Spanish soil? So talk to me maybe a little bit about territories and where you think the current priorities lie, or at least did lie, of course, before COVID-19 hit.
Well, we wanna be everywhere. That's the truth. We have a global audience, and we know that there is a global appetite. And that is that we have today. We have 9 international offices. So we have offices in North America. We have offices in Africa. We have offices in Middle East, and we have offices in Asia. So and then we have the La Liga Global Network that basically it consists of 50 over delegates sent across groups. How much important it is pretty much every single territory in the world. That being said, I look after a broad region in Asia, covering the entire Southeast Asia, Japan and Australia and South Korea. So this is a part of the world that you well said is very well known for the impact, for the footprint of the EPL has had in the past 15 to 20 years already working the territory and doing an amazing job. So for us, we know that is a huge opportunity to grow our brand in this part of the world. We have been here only for 3 years out of these 5 years that we mentioned. Only 3 we have been here in this part of the world, and we will keep putting a lot of resources and efforts to make sure that all our clubs and La Liga grow in this part of the world.
Fabio, how important is it to play games abroad, whether those are commercial commitments or pre-season exhibition matches and so on? They can obviously be quite viable if you go to new territories as well. So talk to me a little bit about why Valencia choose to leave Spain.
Well, for us it's extremely important, especially if you want to be closer to your fans. You can't really build a global fan base if you actually don't interact with them, and there's no better opportunity than to be there with them. So we have international supporters groups around the world. We did summer tours in 13 countries over the last 7 years. We have players from different nationalities, so we have a multinational squad that helps to boost exposure globally, and we are a club that generates around 160 million global viewers globally, and obviously we have nowadays a 60 million global fan base. We try to do that, and through these kind of events. And as far as regards the main markets, obviously we aim to play those matches in markets that are important for us. And as far as everyone speaks about Asia, it is indeed true that it's one of the markets with great interest. However, I might say that our main audience comes through other markets. For example, Middle East, and Africa. Our audience has been around 41 million last season. In Egypt, for example, we have such huge fan base. And obviously we take into account Latin America also, which is so deeply passionate about football. So considering that, we definitely want to tap into those markets through this kind of opportunities, such as friendly matches.
So you mentioned friendly matches, Fabio. If I could just follow up, what about competitive fixtures? Are Valencia in favour of a competitive La Liga fixture away from Spanish soil, or are you against that move?
Well, we really evaluate any opportunity that can provide us with boosting our plan. We aim to to have an influence of every single market, talking the language of the every single market. And obviously it depends. Everything, it's really related to the moment, to the kind of plan that the club has. But we definitely are open with every different opportunity, and we evaluate what's best for us.
Ivan, bringing you in on the foundational aspect of internationalization, before La Liga go anywhere, you have to understand your audience and market your games to that particular audience. And two ways of doing that are rights deals. So for the Indian subcontinent, for example, all the games were put for free on Facebook, which was a good way of targeting that region. And then, of course, there's digital as well, engaging with fans via social media. So maybe give me a bit of insight into how La Liga build foundations before you choose to, in person, go to a particular region.
Well, that's a very good question. The Facebook deal that we signed in India and the subcontinent of India, it was a wonderful and a very innovative deal that we enable us to learn a lot, about our fan base in that part of the world, and also to be aware of certain challenges. So as you said, there is always opportunities and challenges. Coming from a region that I look after, like Southeast Asia, where every single market, is very close to each other, but at the same time, every single market is so different from each other. I think that the biggest challenge is to make sure that you understand the culture and the local market, so you are able to engage with the fans, not just speaking the same language or trying to generate certain relevant content, but actually to be present there, to make sure that you have someone who understands the culture, what's going on in real time, and be able to react to anything that happens in those markets. Things happen very fast. Overnight, you might miss an opportunity. And here is where we have an edge, I would say, as compared to other rights holders. Our La Liga Global Network project help us to have delegates in all these markets in the world that provide us with market intel that then we can put, in our take into our advantage, and make sure that we work on that local approach that I mentioned in the beginning. We use the things that work, typically very well for us as La Liga worldwide, with the, like these things that you need to understand and to be aware for every each of the markets that we work on. If you get this right, then you stand a chance, to be able to build, a stronger fan base that will have, an impact and will bring, new opportunities, whether it's in the commercial front or whether it's on increasing the TV ratings, and, at the end of the domino effect, the value of the TV rights. So it is where the opportunity, but at the same time, the challenge comes.
And Ivan, just following up, because you mentioned the Indian subcontinent, what about India specifically? Somebody has written in, and please do leave your name and the organisation, because otherwise these comments come to me anonymously, but I'm going to read this out to you. Considering the expansion of European leagues worldwide, why is India not considered to be a target market these days for La Liga, especially when being aware of the massive population there is and the increasing expansion of digital platforms? So that particular comment, Ivan, suggests that India is being discounted, but based on your last answer, it actually sounds like India is indeed, contrary to that comment, quite a big priority for La Liga.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry to not agree to the statement, but I think it's a big proof, of our. It wasn't an easy decision, It was a great opportunity for us, to partner with Facebook, but at the same time, it was a very innovative decision, as I mentioned to you, and we came with plenty of challenges, but we knew that India is a market that we need to keep an eye on. It's a huge opportunity, a huge potential that not only La Liga sees. I think pretty much anyone who is in the industry foresees, the opportunity that relates in a market like India itself.
Fabio, if I could ask you about COVID-19, obviously every football club has sadly been affected by the pandemic, and mostly we're talking about on the field and budgetary concerns and quite clearly getting fans back into the stadium. But what about internationalization? Maybe some clubs, and certainly some people talking about it, will have forgotten about this particular aspect during the pandemic because it comes secondary to simply getting football back. But has your internationalization strategy specifically been affected by COVID-19? Because on the one hand, you can't go anywhere, but on the other hand, you do have a more captive digital audience than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. The pandemic changed everything, I'd say, in terms of, the strategy, the international strategy. Obviously, the digital content has nowadays such a huge importance. And, I agree with Ivan when he says that, when you want to talk to different markets, you have to first understand them and talk their language. And with COVID, actually, it was on one hand, very hard and complex to change the communication strategy. But on the other hand, it gave us an opportunity to actually interact with different people that before was, it was more difficult because everyone was connected, everyone was into entertaining platforms, and actually our goal changed in actually understand what makes those fans, those consumers tick. For example, we're studying the Z generation. We have been exploring how entertaining platforms are more and more becoming a sport platform. We have seen the importance, for example, of the esport industry that before the virus was not as evaluated as it is nowadays. And we have been the first club in Spain to create our own esport team. So, we got to see the new tendencies, the new trends in COVID, and we adapted it. We tried to adapt quickly into the way we interacted with our fans on, our social media. We created new social media channels with six different languages. We try to, find next opportunities in terms of, partnership deals, for example, with regional deals, with the increasing request of DBR technology that it became such a huge asset. So everything has changed, but we believe it has been a huge, unfortunately for all the moment, but an opportunity for clubs in the problems that we obviously have in terms of budgeting and revenues to actually come back stronger with the message that football is, how important is football to unify people, to actually make them believe in something more. And we as Valencia Football Club aim for that for sure.
And Fabio, we have a question here from one of our viewers. Again, please do leave your name and your organisation. It says, "Hi Fabio, how do you validate the 60 million global Valencia fan number? What kind of metrics do you use to stand that number up?"
Yeah, so obviously we have experts, obviously that on a daily basis interact with us in order to provide us with this kind of info. We are a data-driven club, so obviously in order to actually understand our value and able to adjust it and to sell it internationally, we rely on experts data. So everything has been tracked. There are different metrics that help us in that, but numbers are turning to be really important. But what's really important for us is not the total number in the end, but is how many of these fans actually interact with us, are actually active fans. So that's where we are and where we wanna be in our strategy with them.
Ivan, can you talk to me specifically about collaboration between La Liga and specific clubs like Valencia? Because you will naturally have different goals. The league will want to commercialise more broadly, to tap into some of the bigger clubs, and ultimately won't have as focused aims necessarily as individual football clubs. So what kind of projects internationally can you talk to me about that are good examples of you and the clubs collaborating together rather than having separate internationalization strategies?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, it's important to say that La Liga represents the interest of 42 clubs. Yeah, the top, the 20 in the top tier in La Liga Santander and 22 in La Liga Smart Bank. So we work very close with each of the clubs. In a way, we are an extension of the international business development, like a team. And what we do is we open up any opportunities. We put the network that we have developed, like worldwide at the disposal. So what we do is with a club like Valencia, for example, in this part of the world, we've worked a lot in terms of grassroots, which is a very important approach of Valencia in this part of the world. We help them also in terms of arranging for some commercial opportunities. We work very close on a regular basis with the comms team as well with the digital team to make sure that we have a common message, like a combined message, to the audiences. So in the end, what we do is to make sure that every club has a different approach to the market. So we are making sure that we support whatever strategy that they have. Some of the clubs, they focus more on pure commercial. Some others, they are focused more on digital. Some others, like they want to focus more on grassroots. So we put our network at their disposal to make sure that we work together, because the important thing here is that once everybody understands that if a club, increases the value of the IP, it will benefit La Liga and vice versa. So we hold hands and we try to go and make the biggest impact possible in each of the markets where the opportunity is.
We're into our final 2 minutes, gentlemen, so I'm going to put one final question to each of you, and if I could ask you to answer in about 30 seconds or so. Ivan, first of all, you mentioned that La Liga represent 42 clubs, but of course you're also representing women's football, and that may take a little bit more time to become fully internationalised within Spain, but of course many big teams will nonetheless enter the Women's Champions League, which does have strong audience ratings and a big international audience. How, and I know it's a big question, can you improve the growth of women's football internationally? For example, there's long been talk that Barcelona will eventually enter the NWSL. That would be a good way, wouldn't it, of spreading the brand of women's football to new audiences abroad?
Well, that's for sure that would be a great opportunity for FC Barcelona to consider. But a little bit, I mentioned in the beginning of the session, for us, it's very important to be seen as a league that helps develop the industry in each of the markets where we work. So we work very close with most of the FAs and domestic leagues, and we sign a lot of times MOUs, memorandums of understanding, which is in the end a communication channel that goes in both directions. And more we see always, like a point that comes, like a very common, especially in this part of the world, is women's football. And at La Liga, we have a women's department, and we support, not just on the development of women's football itself, on the players, but also on the coaching. And we try to provide our expertise on running nowadays already one of the best women's football league in the world. So we try to share our expertise and see where we can help, and also why not, sometimes export, some talent from some of these countries to stand a chance to play in Spain, in La Liga Iberdrola.
Absolutely. And Fabio, just in 20 seconds, do specific players define regions you target? So, for example, if you've got Maxi Gomez from Uruguay, does that suddenly mean that Uruguay becomes a big region for Valencia?
Well, obviously we try to, get the best out of each player that we have. Maxi, as many others, is one of them. For example, we had, since Kangin Lind has played constantly in our team, we have received so many requests from the Asian market, and that's just tells you how huge is football. And obviously we try to use that, but most importantly for us is to grow talents with values, with our values. What's important for us is that these players are brand ambassadors in those markets, and after that, as a consequence, we try obviously to communicate with those markets and try to find what are the best opportunities for us.
Fabio and Ivan, thank you very much indeed. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for, but it's been great catching up with you and hearing how La Liga are internationalising both on a club and league level. Thank you very much indeed.